Listen, Gomer, tell them to prepare the major surgery. This is 1 case in 5. I think I can save you, Lieutenant.
You're to proceed to Kokura, Japan immediately.
Save you. Look, take one of these every half hour. Now get into your helicopter and button up your shirt, for crying out loud. You're in the military army.
That piece isn't even close to his nose.
I know. It's nothing. But look, how many times do you get to go to Japan with your golf clubs? Come on, Shirley.
Choose a way of paying the rent until I finish my novel.
How long you been working on it?
4.5 years.
Must be very good.
Piece of shit. Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
At 12:34 p.m., the entire telephone system went out in Washington for a solid hour. And on the plane back to Washington, word was radioed from the White House Situations Room to Lyndon Johnson that one individual performed the assassination. Does that sound like a bunch of coincidences to you, Mr. Garrison? No. Not for one moment.
I wanted to tell you how very sorry I am about your sister. So wasteful. So unnecessary. Anyone could see the game was over by that point. In fact, I was just about to issue an official surrender when they released those parachutes.
Somebody big just died. Legendary actor Donald Sutherland is dead at 88 years old. And here to help eulogize him is Mike North. Mike, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. I mean, another death, another one that, just hits you at the heart. Another guy that entertained us for years. We talk sports. We talk politics. We talk entertainment.
We do it all.
People that have passed away, we do it all. And this one was kept quiet.
Yeah.
They say long illness. That's what they say now. They don't say long illness from what? Long illness from diabetes, long illness from kidney failure, long illness from sclerosis of the liver, long illness from this, long illness from that. But no, they just say long illness, and that's fine. He lived 88 years. He could have died in his sleep. It's not important. He's gone. Donald Sutherland, Joe, was born on July 17th, 1935, a Canadian guy out there in St. John, New Brunswick. Look at him there. I mean, you could tell he had his acting chops early. That's him with, I'm sure, Kiefer, although he had 5 kids. The thing about Donald Sutherland that I find amazing, and you brought it up right before the show, is that he didn't do a lot. He did enough. And all his roles were quirky, and he seemed, even in his acting roles, or even in person, that he was stoned all the time. You know what I mean? He played oddball, like Foster Covers says there. Thank you, Foster. Seemed like, quirky.
Sure.
But he played in Animal House. Let's smoke some dope.
Oh, my God.
Right.
The best.
The best. Where he ends up doing the wild thing with the other guy's girlfriend, Steve. I think it was Steve Guttenberg's girlfriend. He was the teacher. He was the professor. But every one of his roles, except for JFK, which is one of my favorite roles, he seemed stoned. I don't know if people didn't take him serious enough, if they thought that this was an easy way for him to play, because I brought up another role to you today with Sean Connery, where he plays a train robber back in the day, and it was tremendous. If you've never seen it, folks, check it out in The Great Train Robbery. He died June 20th in Miami, lived a great life, 88 years old. He looked
great the whole time.
He was eccentric. Looked great for 88. Looked great for being in his 70s. Could outact his son any day of the week, by the way. I'm not a Kiefer Sutherland fan. I was a Donald Sutherland fan. Nothing against Kiefer. You're not my cup of tea. And that's just the way it is. I never watched 24. I'm not being mean.
He does the action hero thing, and that's what he does.
It. Donald Sutherland was well-rounded, okay? Just a well-rounded guy. His years active, 63 to 2023. Okay?
That's
married
impressive.
twice. Yeah. Here's the key to Donald Sutherland. I'll name the movies off to you. Okay? He didn't have a lot of movies with huge roles. In fact, at the end, he started doing smaller roles, and he would take the small role and turn it into a big role. When I say in JFK, when you're acting with Joe Pesci and you're in the same movie as Kevin Costner and John Candy, okay? I can go all night long like Lionel Richie. Plenty of stars in that movie. Tommy Lee Jones. And then his is the one that I remember. Now, MASH, I'll be honest with you. Well, that's, to me, the movie MASH that they were in is not as good as the TV series was. Donald Sutherland plays Trapper. Of course, Wayne Rogers played him in the TV series, and then Mike Farrell later on. I'm going off memory, folks. I know it's amazing. Elliot Gould played the role of Hawkeye, and that was, of course, played by Alan Alda. This here is fantastic. Invites him in. He has eyes for her. She's supposedly dating the other guy, and they have a good time. Now, Joe, I never saw, and I've never seen The Hunger Games.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's going to come up right here after this JFK clip. But The Hunger Games, he plays President Snow, which is like the evil leader of all the districts. And Jennifer Lawrence's character is going after him and trying to take down, all the government. And this is the scene where he, admits to killing her sister. And he's he's so sinister,
Yeah.
And he plays it so well.
It didn't have to be this way.
Right.
That's what he says.
Yeah, he's just, he's so good. I mean, that's where modern, the younger kids know him from the Hunger Games.
Of course.
And, he's got such a career. Like Mike, you would probably like the first Hunger Games movie just because of how menacing. I mean, he's in the whole.
I like great acting. I'll sit through movies. I watched a Bogart movie tonight called Conflict. And it was with Sidney Greenstreet and Alexis Smith. And the movie was good, but the acting, it's what, if you don't, you can always pull something out of a movie. I always pulled something out of a Donald Sutherland movie. Listen to the movies he made. He made The Dirty Dozen, okay? Ensemble. Kelly's Heroes. Ensemble, okay? Clute with Jane Fonda. Don't Look Now. Animal House. Ordinary People. He played the lead role in what I believe to be the most depressing movie you could ever go to see, with Mary Tyler Moore and Timothy Hutton, about a family that deals with the suicide of the one son and how Timothy Hutton can't live up to that son and what it does to the family. If you've never seen it, check it out. Pride and Prejudice, President Snow and the Hunger Games, like you said.
Yep.
He was from Canada. He was knighted in 1978. He's in the Canadian Walk of Fame, the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Here's the oddity. My favorite actor, maybe of all time, is Errol Flynn. Played Robin Hood, played Seahawk. He was never. This guy made millions for Warner Brothers. This guy made action pictures that are out of this world. Robin Hood is a top of the notch. They can't equal him. Never was nominated, ever, for an Academy Award, and neither was Donald Sutherland. Those two are what I will tell you, folks. Guys that didn't play the game with the Academy. It's a political award. And to leave Errol Flynn, okay, who was as hot as anybody, late 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Sure.
And to leave him without a nomination. And Donald Sutherland, you got to be kidding me. But they didn't play the game. as even though Kiefer's involved and stuff like that. I don't know how you overlook him. I really don't. And to me, that was utterly nonsense when I found that out. That I did not know. Okay. And he was also in Space Cowboys with Clint Eastwood, Tommy Lee Jones, and James Garner. I loved it. But he was always probably in a large ensemble.
Yeah.
Okay. He was at his best when he would shine. There could be 9 different scenes with 9 different actors, and you would walk away. Well, boy, that Donald Sutherland was good.
He pulled
He
the
could have
attention,
played other
man.
roles. He could have played an Easy Rider. He could have played
Sure.
all those quirky roles that he did. But you said something. He picked and chose what he wanted to do. He wasn't a guy like De Niro. Hey, Bob, you want to do dog shit on a plate? It's a brand new movie. Sure. How much does it pay? That's what he's turned into. Donald Sutherland didn't play that game. But to be in the Hunger Games in 2012.
Massive series.
And introduce yourself
to a younger generation, for sure.
To another generation where he's walking down the street like he did in 1960, 1970, 1980, and 1990, where he was always noticed. Okay. Then you take a little time off. All of a sudden, it's 2011, and there's 25-year-old kids coming and saying hi to you. So that had to be tremendously satisfying.
I mean, sure. I mean, Jennifer Lawrence grew her career alongside him. I mean, that's just crazy.
Now, I've heard stories about Jennifer Lawrence. She was a Harvey Weinstein gal, but that's okay. She got into the movies, and that's the main thing. Then she's pretty damn good at what she does.
For sure.
I've never seen her in the Hunger Games. I saw her in American Hustle.
Okay. Yep. She was in. Yep.
Yeah. And she was like out of her mind. Okay.
She is.
And that seems to be like her a little bit nutty, a little bit, but a gorgeous girl, stuff like that. Now, numerous members of the film industry, these are the people that paid their respects. Alec Baldwin, William Baldwin, Josh Brolin, Kim Cattrall, Michael Douglas, Elliot Gould, which had to hurt because they were together back in the 70s, Ron Howard, John Leguizamo, Helen Mirren, Lou Diamond Phillips, Richard Roper, Will Smith, Henry Winkler, Edgar Wright, and the list goes on and on. So there's a lot.
Talk about a guy that's loved, huh?
Yeah, he was loved, seemed to have the respect. You didn't. And what's funny, as nutty and as crazy as he looked, clean. Never had a problem for the most part that I can see. I don't think I'm missing anything here. And believe me, if Donald Sutherland, he seemed like a family guy. I know he was married twice or 3 times, but that's Hollywood. I mean, that's
he was sure.
Married Lois May Hardwick from 59 to 66, Shirley Douglas from 66 to 70. And then Francine Ray said he found the real deal in 1972 and stayed married all that time. So
that's a long time in Hollywood, too.
Oh, my God, yes. It's a long time in Anywood.
Anyway, you look at it, sure.
Anyway, it's a long time in Huntley. It's a long time in Michigan. When you and your lovely wife are married 47 years or 50 years like me and B, or like, you'll understand, believe me. And it's perfect.
We got 42 more to go, Mike.
You got
to catch up with you.
You want to know something? Let me just say this.
They'll go by quick, right?
Let me just say this before the show, and I got to pay my respects to a very dear friend of mine. If you look at Twitter at North to North tonight, I'm sure the Sutherland family won't mind, but we're talking about the time from MASH to what he was doing now. I saw him in his 30s act, and now the guy's gone, and it went like that. You know what else went like that? Real quick, selfishly, I have to say it. He's a good friend of mine, Ryan Sandberg. 1984 or whenever it was. Yeah, I'm watching the game at the hot dog stand. It's like 3 PM. The whole place is stopped. There's like 12 people in the place, and we're all watching. We watched him hit the 2 home runs. The statue dedication today was wonderful. He's one of the weirdest things in my lifetime covering sports. Michael Jordan retired during the middle of his run and he wore number 23, and Ryan Sandberg retired in the middle of his run and wore number 23. 2 of the greatest players in Chicago history retired during the middle of the career. I'm glad they didn't have him hitting. He was one of the best second base fielders I ever seen. And for the people that say, well, he never got dirty, he didn't have to. He'd make the play in the outfield. He'd go into the outfield grass to make ground balls. His range was tremendous. So God bless Ryan Sandberg. I just wanted to throw that in. And to this gentleman here, to Donald Sutherland, he started out being active in 1963. The Dirty Dozen, Lee Marvin, Charles Bronson. It was the highest grossing film. He was always in films that made like millions of dollars. MASH, JFK, Kelly's Heroes, The Dirty Dozen. But once again, he was more of an ensemble actor than a individual solo actor. I always have him grouped in. And that Kelly's Heroes had to be a hell of a set. You had Don Rickles on that set with them. Donald Sutherland. I mean, crazy. I love when he says here, how long you've been working on your novel? He goes 4.5 years.
Oh, must be good.
Yeah. It's a piece of shit.
My favorite scene in this movie, man, besides when they smash the guitar in the hallway.
Oh, yeah. When they do that. And the horse, when they shoot that, and the horse has a heart attack in the beams. But Donald Sutherland, may he rest in peace. And condolences, yes, to Kiefer. And Kiefer had some wonderful things to say.
Yeah, here it is, Mike. I got one of the tweets.
Beautiful.
My family and I have been overwhelmed by the outpouring of condolences and support over the last 24 hours. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. If Kiefer Sutherland died, I don't know if he's on Somebody Big Just Died. I'm not a fan, but I guess I'd have to put him on. I can't be a fan of everybody that dies. In fact, we've done many of these. Some of these you've not been a fan of, and some of these I've not been a fan of, and we just have to do it.
We don't play favorites, Mike. We just
you
do
can't
what we
play
do.
Favorites. If Donald Sutherland's family heard that they were in On Somebody Big Just Died, I think they'd be hurt. I mean, this is our 50. I mean, they're coming down once a week, which leads us to our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, there you go, Mike.
Joe's going, I wonder if he's going to forget again. I just wonder.
I was getting ready to remind you, Mike.
I got the dice in my hand. Anyway, first of all, Cumberland Chapels, ladies and gentlemen. 8300 West Lawrence Avenue, Norwich, Illinois, 60706. Go to CumberlandChapels.com. The Lupos, the Martinos. Man, they walk you through it all. Anybody and everybody that I know has been to Cumberland Chapels to see a loved one, friends, what have you. The testimonials are up there for you to read. They got plenty of parking. We've talked about that. Wonderful chapel, rental for spaces. They got 4 or 5 chapels. Just a great, great place. I know that I was watching the Sebastian Maniscalco special about 3 months ago. He brought it up. I go, God, is that awesome? To have a funeral parlor brought up at a comedy in Vegas.
That's when you know you're big.
That's when you know you're king. And there's this place called Cumberland Chapels. But good for Sebastian. And then my friend Tino Antonacci, the ambassador of restaurants in Chicago. Tony Antonacci, the proprietor, owner, adding on to this place, building another joint down at the other end of the Pennyville station. Friendly atmosphere, great drinks, great food. Saturday night prime rib special, Joe's Lobster Rolls.
That's right.
Lunch. I've had lunch there 3-4 times. There I am with Jesse Rogers, who did a great job today, and my friend Tony Antonacci, 112 Main Street, Park Ridge, Illinois, 60068-847-720. Put that back up, Joe, before I don't. There we go. 4841 Pennyville Station.com. So that's it in a nutshell. Like I said, the last couple ones, Dabney Coleman, no word about him. Just boom.
No
controversies. Jerry West, no controversies except
Chet
for
Walker.
Chet Walker. Everybody been Mr. Clean lately. Even this guy who didn't act like Mr. Clean, but was Mr. Clean. Joe, before I sign off, any parting words from you? Because I know you liked them in the Hunger Games, Animal House.
Yeah.
Which one was your favorite of all?
I'm partial. My favorite of him is in Animal House. I mean, I grew up loving Animal House just because, I was a huge Belushi fan and always loved his character. It was so small, but it was so perfect. Loved him in the Hunger Games. My wife would say the Hunger Games. She's a huge Hunger Games fan. So and that kind of brought him into the newer generation. So he was a true movie star in every sense of the word, from his top of his career in the 70s all the way until just about last year. So talk about a guy that persevered and survived in this industry, Mike.
Character actor, lead role actor, ensemble actor, short but sweet roles. To me, Deep Throat. JFK.
Yeah.
Sitting on a bench. What's the role? 10 minutes?
Probably 10 minutes or so, yeah.
Doesn't stutter. Looks straight ahead. Lives in the moment. I thought he was fantastic. Animal House, he was fantastic. In fact, I was on Mancow's show. And Sally Kellerman was on with me. It was his TV show. And I said, how was it? How was filming MASH? And she goes, oh, like that. Like it was fun, but it was crazy. So he had a full life. And by the way, Sally Kellerman, she's gone now, but she looked tremendous at the time, and she was in her 70s. My favorite Sally Kellerman role, besides the one in MASH, where she was tremendous, was, of course, Back to School.
Oh, classic. Another classic.
That's another classic. Anyway, we've spread the ball around tonight. We've hit at Dorf Fields. We've talked about Rhino. We've talked about Sally Kellerman, all in line with Errol Flynn, all in line with the things that Donald Sutherland accomplished.
Yeah, unreal.
We want to wish the Sutherland family all the best. We want to thank Cumberland Chapels and Pennyville Station on behalf of the Barroom and behalf of Joe Mandel and yours truly, Mike North. We hope to see you down the line. Maybe just take a week off.
We'll see.
Because it's going to be again. Here we go. Somebody's always big and somebody's always dying. Somebody big just died. See you later.